And thank you for tuning in. It is Friday, July the 27th, 2018. And I'm not sure where you're tuning in, but it is 8 p.m. in Eastern North Carolina. Welcome to the press release. And of course, I am your hostess, Portia Bright. Now, of course, I have a very special show for you to get today. And I hope each and every one of you are having a very super marvelous Friday. Now, wherever you're tuning in right now, I want to encourage you to encourage your friend to link in with us on Facebook or Instagram at the press release. Also, head over to my YouTube channel, Portia Bright TV, so you can see a host of unseen footage and so many different other things that you will find of interest. Now, of course, if you do that and click the little star on the right hand side of your screen, you can take the press release wherever you go. I'm always sharing information that you can use, and it's always news that you need to know. Now, of course, let's get into what I have for you tonight. Now, I have a very special guest tonight on the show. I felt like it was very important to actually have someone on the show who can talk about some things that a lot of you have been worrying about. And as you see, I have Dr. Ravinder Singh out of the Beverly Hills Headache Institute. How are you, Dr. Singh?
I'm great. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so glad you had the opportunity to join us tonight.
Well, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be on your show tonight.
Yes, sir. How's the weather in California?
Oh, it's very hot. Right now, I'm sitting in 102 degrees temperature.
Oh, wow. It sounds pretty hot over there.
Yes, we are having a heat wave this week in Southern California.
Oh, wow. Well, let's get into tell us a little bit about and don't know you, but I want to introduce you.
So, like you said, my name is Ravinder Singh. I'm a neurologist. I'm a headache specialist. And I have an integrative center in Beverly Hills called the Beverly Hills Headache Institute. And I wrote a book called Not Tonight, I Have a Headache. And the whole purpose of that book is to introduce people to about, yes, that's right. Um, so the purpose was of writing the book was to educate people about what they can do about their headaches. If you suffer, I'm sure your audience either they suffer from headaches or they know somebody who suffers from headache because it's a very common condition, especially migraine
Mm-hmm.
headaches. So my aim was to educate people about what headaches are and how can we actually take care of those headaches in simple ways without having to go to the doctor. So that's basically where I come from.
Now, there are about 45 million Americans who actually suffer from headaches. What specifically made you go into neurological medicine?
Well, I always liked neurology when I was in medical school, and so circumstances made it so that when I became when I finished my medical school and was applying for residency, there was no opening in the residency spot for neurology, and I always enjoyed neurology. So when I became a neurologist, initially I was a stroke specialist, and I still am a stroke specialist. But stroke is mainly a hospital condition. When patients have a stroke, they don't go to the office; they go to the hospital, which is the right place to go because when you're having an acute stroke, you need to be treated right away. But then when I started my own practice as an outpatient, we see a lot of other conditions. We don't see these life-threatening conditions in the office, on a day-to-day basis. So the most common conditions we see as neurologists are headache, back pain, dizziness. Those are some of the things that most people suffer from on a regular basis. So that's why when I started seeing a lot of patients, I became interested in headache, and I saw that I could make a big difference in people's lives. And that's why I kind of gravitated towards becoming a headache specialist.
Wow, that's awesome. Talking about headache, what are some
Can you
actual
hear me?
triggers?
Well, there are different kinds of headaches. You have the most common type is the tension headache, and then most common are the most too hard to control. that's when they go to the doctor, and most of the time these are migraine headaches. So migraine headaches, there are a lot of triggers for them.
Mhm.
Is for some patients who are sensitive, are sensitive to different foods that can bring on the headaches. Sometimes the external environment, so for example, different smells or odors or the change in weather can be a trigger. Um, and then for women, the internal environment, your hormonal changes are also very important, and they can be a big trigger for migraine headaches as well. So there are a lot of triggers. Stress is a very important trigger for both tension type headaches as well as migraine headaches. These are some of the more common triggers for patients who come to see me with migraine headaches.
Now, reading your book, Americans are big consumers of caffeine, and in your book, you mentioned caffeine as a headache reliever and as a cause for headaches. How can that be?
Well, obviously it's not the same person.
Dr. Singh, are you still there? I think we may have lost him. Dr. Singh, are you still there?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. I think we lost you for a little bit.
Yeah. Um, so where were we? I think we were talking about caffeine. Yes. So
Yes.
as I was saying, obviously it's not the same person where caffeine can be a trigger, but can be a treatment as well. Although sometimes it can be. But some people are, who suffer from migraine headaches. Caffeine can be a trigger, just like any other trigger. Like as I mentioned earlier, some
Mhm.
food substances, sometimes in the environment. So caffeine is also a very important trigger. On the other hand, we have seen that caffeine itself, in some cases, can treat headaches, and so there are caffeine pills that have been made that for patients in whom caffeine is helpful. So you just have to find out on an individual basis if you are more sensitive to caffeine as a trigger which causes headaches, or if in your case it would be a helpful condition. But even when patients do get benefit from caffeine, taking too much caffeine can actually be a trigger as well. So you just gonna have to find the right balance.
Right. Now, in chapter 15, you talk about the conventional approach to headache treatment, prophylactic and preventative treatment. Can you elaborate a little bit on that for us?
Yeah, so as a physician, when you come to me, my job is to assess if you have chronic headaches or not, or if you've been suffering from migraine headaches for a long time and you have them very frequently. Well, the first thing is to kind of determine what would be the best treatment for you for the acute treatment. And then, in some cases, if you're having very frequent headaches, or if the medications are causing too many side effects, then we can then we can discuss whether you'd be a good candidate for a preventative treatment, or we call prophylactic treatment. But the treatment, the medications that we use for prevention are much different from those that we use for acute treatment. In the book, I discuss all the different kinds of preventative therapies. Um, but the main aim, my aim in that chapter is to kind of help people to determine whether you'd be a candidate for preventative therapy or not, and what are some of the principles that guide our treatment when we choosing medications for prevention. So we can discuss those guidelines if you prefer.
Yes, of course I would.
Okay. Um, so this applies to patients who suffer from, let's say, more than 1 or 2 headaches a week. So if you suffer
Mm,
from chronic headaches, where they are where it's almost a daily problem, or a weekly problem, then the reason we don't want you to we want you to consider preventative treatment is that if you take the acute medications very frequently, uh, it can actually cause a new problem, which is called medication overuse headache. So, for example, let's
mhm,
say if you start having migraine headaches and you're getting them more frequently, let's say 2 or 3 times a week, and you take your acute pain medications, whether it's over the counter ibuprofen or Tylenol or some of the other migraine medication that you can buy over the counter, or even if you're taking prescription medications. Um, but if you take these acute pain medications more than 2 or 3 times a week, you run the risk of causing another unique problem, which is caused by taking these medications too frequently, where you can actually have a
mhm.
new headache develop, which is called medication headache. And so we don't want you, to prevent that. When the headache frequency becomes that high, then we talk about other treatments, which sometimes can be medications such as antidepressants or anti-seizure medications or blood pressure medications, or Botox, or some other natural treatments that we can discuss, on the show as well. So these medications. I mean, I don't want to go into the specifics of these medications because that may become too boring. But the principle is that these medications are used for other purposes, and sometimes they can be very helpful in preventing migraine headaches or chronic headaches, and treating them appropriately.
Right. Now, I know a lot of times, when people go to the doctor, they always tend to, get medicine and things like that. Is there anything that people can actually do in terms of their prevent headache? Some type of preventative measures to, reduce the amount of headaches that they get.
Well, obviously, you need to look at your triggers. You need to find out what's causing your headaches, the frequency to go up. So my job as a physician is to kind of try to determine what is it that's causing your headache frequency, and so addressing those more naturally, or taking medications if appropriate. Um, uh, in my clinic, we discuss other options. For example, I have an integrative center where we have, besides Western medicine, neurology, myself, we have an acupuncturist, a yoga therapist, a chiropractor, a homeopathic physician, a nutritionist, massage therapist. And the reason we have all these different modalities is that uh, we can use these different other modalities to try to bring your headaches down or treat them, so that you don't have to take more medications and experience side effects from the medications, and also for you to take charge of your life and take charge of your headaches, so that you can find out what is causing them. How can you use now some natural means to lower the frequency and treat your headaches, and then find out what is causing your headaches and make the appropriate lifestyle changes that can
Right.
cause you to become headache free without having to depend upon medications and other means.
Wow. That's awesome. So we have Not Tonight, I Have a Headache. What was so profound about this title that made you choose it for the book?
Catchy title. Usually people, use this phrase when they have a different kind of a problem. Um, but my aim was that, um, headaches can occur in anybody, and the purpose of the book is to let you live your life the way you want to live your life. So if there are excuses that you have, or there are reasons your headache is a reason why you're not able to live the life the way you want to live. You can go to work, you can go out with your friends, you cannot be intimate with your partner, or
Yep.
whatever other things that you want to do, and that the headache is stopping you from living your life. The purpose of this book is to give you options so that you can use these options and all the techniques that I tell you in the book, so that you can take charge of your life and not let life stop you, or not let your headache stop you from living your life.
Right. Well, Dr. Singh, this was a phenomenal book. I had the pleasure of reading it. You see, I got my little pages matched and everything, the little highlighters and everything. I even got you to sign my copy of the book, which I was so blessed to receive. How can people actually get your book?
Well, you can go to my website. I made a simple one. It's called treatmyheadache.com.
Mm-hmm.
So just www.treatmyheadache.com. That will take you to the web page where you can buy the book, and for your listeners, obviously we'll give them a discount, and you can get more information about what I do about the clinic as well on that website. So feel free to go look around, see what else I do. My aim is to educate people, and so the
Yeah.
website is also designed, and we'll be making more changes and adding new material to help people, to educate people about what it is that's causing them to suffer so much, and what are some of the newer and more effective treatments, whether it's medications or alternative therapies, or there are some new treatments that are coming on board. And I was just at the annual headache meeting last month, and there were a lot of exciting new developments and treatment for migraine headaches. So my aim is to educate the people about all these different all different aspects of headache, and so that you can really learn and incorporate those things into your life, so you can feel better about yourself. And obviously also to get my book and learn all the simple things that I give you in the book that will help you to become headache free.
Right. Now, do you take insurance or do you take walking?
Well, you take insurance. I missed. There was a bad connection there. Did you? Can you repeat the question again?
Do you take walk-ins or and insurance? Well, I'm sure you take insurance at your clinic, but do you take
Yes.
walk-ins? Okay,
Well, I mean,
great.
it's better to make an appointment because we have a. It's always better because I need to set aside some time. I don't like to shortchange. It's not like you go into a walk into a clinic and you spend
Yeah,
10 minutes with the doctor. And so it's better to schedule an appointment because I want to sit down with you for an hour and discuss all the different aspects of your headache, so that I can be better informed about what's causing your symptoms, your headaches, and to give you the right treatment. Nowadays people don't spend a lot of time with their patients. The
right.
doctors do, and so it's easy just to write a prescription, or you have a headache, or take this medication and be done with it. But that doesn't
Mhm.
really, that actually is causing more problems. It's not really treating patients appropriately, and is feeding into the epidemic of too much medication, the opioid crisis. People are very free to write prescriptions for the narcotics that actually cause more
Right.
problems than they solve. So I
Yep.
like to spend time with my patients, and I want to get to know them, get to know what is your lifestyle like. Besides giving you the treatment, I want to understand what's causing it. So it's not just a pill, it's the whole person. I want to figure out what's causing the problem and getting to the root cause of it and addressing that cause. So that's why it's better to make an appointment, come in, and I can sit down and spend some time with you to get to know you.
Well, that is so great, Dr. Singh. I really appreciate you being on the press release tonight, and we hope to have you back in the future. Are you working on any new projects?
Well, I am. Thanks for asking. One of the things in treating all these headache patients, and I mentioned briefly earlier, one of the triggers is stress. And I found that stress is an important trigger for a lot of medical problems, not just headaches. And so I've been focusing on trying to find the right treatment for stress and addressing what causes stress in people's lives. So my next project, I already give seminars on stress management, on how to manage your life with a minimum amount of negative stress, and how to
Mm-hmm.
change your life so that stress does not become an important factor in it. And I already give seminars, and you can find more information on those seminars as well on my website as well. And my next project is to write. I'm already working on writing a book on stress and how to. I'm calling it mastering your stress, going beyond just
Okay.
managing stress. Once that is completed, I'll be happy to come back and discuss that project with you as well.
Yes, sir. We would love to have you here talking about it. You really informed us tonight because I know a lot of people actually deal with headaches, and some people think is many other issues, but really not finding the root of what a headache actually is. And so we really appreciate you and your work that you're doing. And I definitely want to have you back in the future to talk about your new project. And I think we lost him. But of course, we thank you as always here at the press release for actually listening to the show tonight. We'll actually be back next week, same time, same place, giving you information that you need to know about. And make sure you follow me throughout the week, of course, on the press release at Instagram, the press release for you, and on Facebook at the press release for you for more information all week long that you need to know about. And thank you. I'm signing out. If you need anything, you can always inbox me. Peace.